Micron just reported earnings after hours. It is up about 13.25%. Here's what they reported. Estimate of $1.11 for earnings per share. They came in at $1.18, so that was a pretty big beat. Estimation of $7.65 billion. They came in at $7.75 billion. The market absolutely loves it right now. Man, this is a big jump because they were also up 2% today. That's a big jump. So let's go see their press release. I'm looking at this for the very first time, just like you guys. AI demand drives 50% sequential data revenue. That's not surprising. Revenue of $6.81 billion versus $5.82 from the prior quarter, and $3.75 billion for, my goodness gracious. GAAP income, $332 million. Let's see cash flow here. Operating cash flow of $2.48 billion versus $1.22 billion for the prior quarter. Wow. And you can see these huge jumps here. If we look at the third quarter of 24 versus the second quarter of, man, oh man. Look at these jumps. Look at this. They nearly doubled their revenue. This is unbelievable. Let's see what they have to say for the business outlook going forward. So the revenue that they're looking at for the fourth quarter, let's go off of GAAP, $7.6 billion plus or minus $200 million. Margins 33.5% plus or minus 1%. Operating expenses $1.19 billion plus or minus $15 million. Earnings per share of 61 cents. Okay, that's for the quarter. Oh, interesting. Okay, and actually look at their non-GAAP. They're actually looking to fall a shade. And now if they get the plus, they'll beat it, what they've done. Interesting. Now they're going to have a press release or a press conference later today. I'm sure it's going to be now or at 5 o'clock. Let's go into Micron and look at a couple of things. So Micron's been a stock that I have been following consistently, probably for 2 years. And I don't want to buy it. It's not something that I'm really interested in, but I know that Monish Pabrai was extremely interested in it. Our in-house analyst Dalton was extremely interested in it. So if we just look at a couple of things here, they have market cap of about $108 billion. That's going to change drastically tomorrow morning. Enterprise value of $121 billion. Let's see this dividend. Now why? Why is the cash flow there? I'm wondering let's see if there's any big changes here, because this doesn't really make a lot of sense of why they would just have. Were they doing some acquisitions? Is there some big changes in working capital possibly? No. Any acquisitions? No. It would be something that I would go and dig into. Yeah, this free cash flow is drastically changing. Oh, now I'm kind of seeing it now. Look at the free cash flow. During COVID, it spiked high. Then it started to, this imploded in this year. What the hell happened here? What am I missing? Maybe I'm just looking too quickly and I'm actually missing it. Net income, big fall in net income. Maybe this was one of the reasons why people were starting to look at this thing. If we just glance at the 8 pillars, man, they've been beat up. Even this, guys. I think that this number, this about 5% return on invested capital over the last 5 years, is drastically skewed by what we have going on here. This is ugly, but I don't think the story is as ugly. Because if I look at this press release, it looks like they're absolutely crushing it. Now, gross margin, what is their gross margin? Gross profit margin of about 11%, 11.5%. 5-year profit margin of about 10%. There's that negative profit margin. So let's say I went to a stock analyzer and I started putting numbers in this thing. I don't think I would say, guys, they're not going to make money anymore. No, there's something turning around here with Micron. All right, guys, now remember, going back to 2023, they did have some very rough quarters in there. I was just going back and looking at some of their, let's just go and look on a quarterly basis. Let's go into quarterly here into 2023. They did drive revenue, but when it came to the net income, you can see there were losses at the end of 22, a lot of losses going on. Now they're starting to, on a quarterly basis, recover that net income as we saw on the release today. So things seem to be getting better. Of course, Micron, based on this first sentence right here, AI demand. This is going to be a powerhouse in that AI space. Listen, when numbers start to normalize, I don't know if they're going to be the next NVIDIA. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. But do I think that they're going to play a role up there with AMD, NVIDIA? Yes, I do think they're going to play a role up there. Qualcomm, et cetera. I think they're going to be part of that kind of big four category. All right, one piece I'm finding in here, investments and capital expenditures were $206 billion. Now, if we come down here on June 22nd, 2024, Micron's board declared a quarterly dividend of 11.5 cents per share. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to here. Let's see what they're doing with their shares outstanding. Let me go back to an annual basis. Scroll down here. Yeah, very consistent. So I like that they're not diluting you, and I like that they're not buying back shares. There's not a share buyback program that I can see that's out there right now. It might be in the 10K, but it's not on the quarterly report, and they typically do put it on the quarterly report. So guys, if you like videos like this where we go through and give a quick analysis of what's going on in the market, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to do Costco tomorrow. It's going to be a very, very interesting one out there. You guys have a great night.